What's up, everyone? This is Alan, and we got Saif here.
What's
and we
going
are
on?
at TB Wrestling Casuals. But before we begin, we never usually say this, but give us a follow, subscribe, both on Spotify, YouTube, buttons down below, and whatever else people do these days to get
I'm
a
gonna try to
subscription
do a
here.
little bit more shorts too, honestly. Like take a little bit, gotta do those.
Yeah,
There'll be some more coming up. Not really active on Insta to be honest, but it'll get there. It'll get there.
little by little, just
Yeah,
like The
yeah,
Rock.
yeah. We'll see.
First of all, well, let's start there because we were talking about our podcast, and I went off on that little Rock segment with Cody and taking the spotlight from him and the whole hashtag We Want Cody thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Since
yeah.
then, we haven't really talked about it much on camera and podcast, but we talked about it off camera. And they totally fixed themselves, and WWE steering in the right direction again. But I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about it because I did not think that was a work. I thought it was a shoot, and they did it on the fly thing. So when The Rock kind of came in and kind of took away the spotlight from Cody, I thought that's what they actually wanted to do. They were planning on it because they still went back to him saying, "I'm going to take everything away from you, but not at WrestleMania." To this day, Cody never explained himself of why he said that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think it was this whole thing was always part of the plan. Still,
You still think that's the plan?
I
I don't
still
think so.
think I still think it was always part of the plan, and because if everyone's going to agree on this type of path, I feel like logically speaking, it makes no sense. Oh, I'm just gonna come and take your WrestleMania spot. Like, what is the
Well,
point of
that's why.
like, what's the point of Royal Rumble? I
Well,
just feel like,
exactly.
yeah, like I don't know. I just feel like this was always the plan, and like think about it, right? Well, in my opinion, right? So last time The Rock came out to raise Roman's hand, right? That was always in the works to be Rock versus Roman. And to me, I feel like Rock is, I want to say he's a little bit smarter than that to be like, okay, we're not ready yet. Because it was 10 years in the making, right? Like 2011, 2012, or whatever. And I feel like he would be smart enough to be like, okay, I'm just going to take especially someone like Cody's spot. I feel like it could have been done any other time, but maybe it had to be like big or whatever. But I don't know. I don't see it. I feel like Rock is smarter than that.
I don't think that segment was planned at all in
This
terms
okay?
of before the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Triple H said, "Hey, we don't have a plan right now. That's what we're gonna do. Even though The Rock's part of the board of directors, I'm gonna have my guy Cody win because nobody's telling me what to do. Nobody's gonna tell me The Rock is gonna come out Friday to take the WrestleMania spot because." If The Rock had told everyone that he was going to do that, there's no reason for Cody to win. And I'm going to keep going back to that line because we do. I like to think about things logically, right? And
Yeah.
there is always creative holes that they want to kind of avoid. But
Mm-hmm.
this creative hole is just something that they couldn't avoid. He said, "I'm going to take everything away, but not at WrestleMania." No one ever still explained himself. And then on top of that, once they got the reaction of "We Want Cody," Rocky sucks, and the whole Rocky versus Roman thing to be not at WrestleMania this year because of Cody's story, everything changed into a work. So now everything moving forward since the kickoff is planned, in my opinion.
So hold on. So you think, and it might be true, but like, let's walk through Rock's process, right? Dwayne's process. So did from what I'm understanding, like, you think Dwayne didn't tell anybody, and he was just gonna do this himself, kind of thing?
Not just himself. He had his own people with the board of directors, and he let Triple H know that this was the plan after the Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
After they let Cody win, and after Cody pointed at Roman that I want to face him. Even at the press conference, he was like, "Hey, the only title that matters to me is my father's title." So why go through all that press conference and just for him on Friday to say, "Hey, here, Dwayne, here's my Royal Rumble shot. Here's my main event. Take
Mm-hmm.
it. I'm gonna take everything away, just not this time at WrestleMania. And then after the whole spiel that weekend with the hate and the 600,000 plus dislikes on the video, I thought they turned it into a work. And then now Rock's team and Triple H and all of creative, they're working together to make something good out of this. They want you to think that this was a work all along.
To like, I guess I see that. I just don't see why WWE would be so stupid to do something like this, because because to go and listen to the fans abruptly, because like people are saying, oh, you guys wanted this, well, why are you guys hating on it now? There was no storyline. That's why we hate this. There's no build up to it, right? To The Rock coming and trying to do the WrestleMania spot. At least he gave us a year warning before with John Cena, with CM Punk and everything. At least he gave us that year warning, right? This had no warning. This had nothing.
Well,
And
exactly. And
yeah,
I kind of agree with you there. He came out with no warning that week after, literally the week of Royal Rumble, right?
yeah.
Like right after Cody's supposed to have this big spotlight that week. So he comes out, takes the spotlight with no plan. So I think if the crowd were to cheer
Mhm.
and there was no backlash with him coming out and taking his spot, we would have Rock and Roman this year at WrestleMania as planned. But because of the outrage and backlash, they had to make a joint decision from Rock's creative team and Triple H's creative team to work together to make this into something planned now because of
Like,
the fans'
yeah.
outrage.
So, okay, so this, you think this is an aftermath thing of the backlash from the fans? I
Yes.
think Rock is smart enough to use this as a way to put Cody even over, because you also have to think about the, again, totally wrong, but this is like an interpretation thing, right? Like
Yeah,
Instagram
of
of John
course.
Cena,
Yeah.
it's an interpretation thing. So like this is how I kind of see it. It's like, okay, I think this is a way to put Cody Rhodes over even more, because WrestleMania is great and all, but you always, everyone obviously thinks about what happens after, right? So how do you build that story? I feel like Rock needed to be involved in some way in this storyline, because it's bigger than just Cody and it's bigger than just, Dusty's title. It's more like what happens afterwards, because they got to build onto something else. And I feel like this is a way to help Cody. Like, this is the final stretch, right? You want to believe this is the final stretch. This is the Infinity Saga,
Right,
right?
right. So,
Right.
but why? So I agree that Rock needs to be a part of this story,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't think that there was anything more important than Dusty's title right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, right? Finish the story.
Yeah, yeah.
That is his. I think this is his story.
Right.
But look, regardless of all that, I
Yeah, yeah.
think what they're doing now,
Mm-hmm.
planned heel Rock, whatever they did in the past week, I love. It's even better than what I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm not hating on it right now. I'm just hating of that little creative hole that he can't explain. That literally one line that bothers me. That's it.
I think it's interesting, because I'd like to eventually, over time, decipher each segment almost, because, and I kind of want to dive into the segment that, with The Rock, when he came out with Roman and then he dropped his promo, which I thought was pretty good, because I was excited because I want to see if his older era promos would work in this generation, because you know how people are a little bit more sensitive and a little bit more opinionated with the certain things, because he didn't change his gimmick. That
It's
gimmick
a
is
it's
like
Hollywood Rock.
Hollywood Rock gimmick,
Yeah.
brought back, didn't try to modernize it for the, how you have to sometimes do that for this climate, because people get a little PC and a little sensitive. So, and he didn't do that. And funny enough, Roman didn't say anything. He he's
He's playing
overshadowed.
little brother. He's playing
Yeah,
little brother
yeah,
for sure. So I mean, look, this leads to Rock versus Roman next year.
right.
This is Cody taking the title from him this year, and then The Rock saying, "Hey, little brother, the High Chief is always better than you. High Chief is always right. I'm gonna face you next year at WrestleMania, and if you lose, I take over the Bloodline."
Right. So, and it's funny because it's all implanted, right? Like for instance, the family tree when he revealed it, and from what I remember looking at the family tree, it was just Roman's name as like Joe, right? Anoa, whatever it was, and then under Rock it was High Chief,
Right.
and then now he's part of the bloodline, but Roman is the tribal chief, and
Right. But
it's
he
just,
has all the say. Rock has all
yeah.
the say.
So
So
his the high chief because his dad was the high chief, right? Or his grandpa was the high chief, but he's now the high chief. He's in bloodline, but he has no title in the bloodline. Roman's the tribal chief, and it just like I just feel like it's just a bigger story than it is, and I feel like that was the only way to bring Roman or like bring Rock into this saga that's going to
okay.
be like the Kang dynasty sort of.
Uh-huh.
You know what I
I
mean?
thought
Yeah,
I
I don't
thought
know.
Rock was coming after WrestleMania. I
Right, exactly. Sure,
I just
sure.
thought that's Kang Saga was after WrestleMania, after the
The
Infinity
aftermath.
Saga. I think Infinity Saga is kind of Cody versus Roman,
Hmm.
and I think Kang Dynasty is kind of Rock versus Roman, like the second
I could see that. Yeah, yeah,
boss
yeah.
battle type of thing. And that's why I only think it just didn't make sense. So, you know, in my opinion,
Hmm.
WWE fucked up that first time,
Hmm.
but they fixed themselves really quick,
Man,
and now
I
it's even better.
don't you want to know the truth, but I feel like that's part of the whole thing, right? Like, what is
Well, we
the
each have our own opinion. We don't
yeah?
know the
And
truth. We will never
I
know the
like that.
truth, right? So it's up to interpretation for everyone.
Hmm.
But that's the beauty of it. We always say that's the beauty of talking about wrestling, is
Hmm.
because there's so many possibilities that we'll never know. Everything's just a thought
Yeah,
or an assumption.
I was actually honestly, I thought The Rock was going to come at Royal Rumble at the end after Cody won. Genuinely,
to
that's
raise
to,
to
to
raise Cody's hand,
no,
or
like to just come out because you know how before he was saying like, "Oh, should I sit at the booth or the at the head of the table?" And then I thought, if The Rock really had to come out for WrestleMania 40, I really thought he was going to come out during Royal Rumble after Cody won to gauge the fans again.
you think why couldn't he come out at 30 and just win it if that was the
No, that
plan?
would have been like
No, but then
death of WWE.
right,
That
but
would have been death.
the logic would have been Rock versus Roman. Then it would have been fine because
You
if
would
you
be
win the Royal
yeah.
Rumble,
Oh, if he won the
right?
Royal Rumble, yeah.
Yeah, then he gets to choose who he faces. Then there's no creative flaw because he won the Royal Rumble. Now, so yesterday when The Rock came out, which was a good promo,
Yeah.
with the Hollywood style, Versace shoes, Versace shirt, church shoes. He was, back in '96, still an ugly shirt though.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Absolutely.
but when he came out and he was talking, he was like, Cody, this. How can you face Roman 2 times in a row? How can you, is that really your story? And I'm like, well, he did win the Royal
Yeah,
Rumble. He
that by
gets
the way, that yeah, you're right. That didn't make any sense to me. That was
yeah.
forced.
So he kind of is allowed to face Roman, man. Like these little creative flaws. I just don't
I
get
get
because
you.
when someone wins the Royal Rumble, they
Fair.
just get to choose. It's simple as that. Why are you saying it's not his choice? It is his choice. So that's just a little flaw,
Yes.
and that's
I
no
agree.
one ever explains why Cody didn't get that opportunity. If you want to explain him not getting it, just don't make him win the Royal Rumble.
Exactly. Yeah. And then his reference with the jazz, didn't understand it. Didn't
It
get
makes
it.
no sense. Utah Jazz did not go back on top. They made the finals, but
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Bulls still won.
Yeah.
Yeah, but other than that, everything else about Salt Lake City, inbred,
That was funny.
grandchildren, it was hilarious.
Yeah.
So it was a good promo with a little bit of flaw.
Yeah, man. And maybe that speaks volumes to why Rock's movies keep flopping. But, you know, like, honestly,
Yeah. Yeah. Look, there was a meme that came out that he went in, he tried to fuck up the DC universe. He tried to fuck up the Fast and Furious universe or trying to take over their universes. And now he's coming back to WWE thinking he can take it over and save the WWE universe. Well, he flopped in all of them.
yeah,
But
true.
this is the only way to fix it. This is literally the only way. His writer came up to him and probably said, hey man, we got to turn you heel. This is the best possible scenario that can get you out unscathed.
Yeah, you just can't be like the boss of everything. Like, right? He's like the boss. He's trying to be the boss of everything.
Yeah. So
And
he's trying to be the president.
yeah, God, that's
So that's
bad,
what
man.
annoyed me. But I think he's toned down. Like since that time of a few weeks ago where he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna come in, take everything." I think probably once he turned heel recently this week, he's probably just playing along now. So everything is gonna be okay, and then Triple H is probably doing most of the work again.
Yeah, it's just like, again, I think we talked about it last week with Rock and Roman. They never had to be about the title. It's just
Never.
about their their what do you call it, the high chief role or the tribal chief role. That's all it is. High chief versus tribal chief.
Yeah, that's a WrestleMania main
That's
event
it.
in itself, right? I hear it. It's high chief versus tribal chief for the head of the table. It's amazing.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, why are you getting the title involved and literally ruining 90% of the roster? Because, right, because
Right.
again, WrestleMania is not the end chapter. It's continuous. It's forever, right? It's going to keep going. There's a storyline after storyline, right? After WrestleMania, it's just going to keep going. You can't just like abruptly stop at like 20 other legitimate threats storyline,
Right.
because where did they go? You can't just think about one person. It's I don't get it. But
Yeah.
anyway, Elimination
But
Chamber.
I but I do like the direction that everything's going right now. So but leading into Elimination Chamber, we can actually start off with that in
Hmm.
terms of now, how is Seth Rollins involved? Why is he involved? Because now they have this big movie promo with Seth and Cody, and Seth
Hmm.
acting like the quote unquote shield for Cody Rhodes, versus the Bloodline now, Roman and The Rock. There's always a face off now. Seth looked like he was defending Cody wholeheartedly now because he hates the fact that The Rock just came in. Does this lead to a tag match? Does this lead to Seth being involved in the Bloodline and Cody? Like, what do you think is happening? Why Seth?
I think Seth, to keep him relevant with the big dogs, um, and this tag team literally makes no sense. Um, I mean, it's definitely gonna be a tag team. 2v2. They did a cinematic little package, so it is gonna be 2v2. I have no idea where this leads because none of those guys involve Rollins, and his rival. Like, I, it's so abrupt and random, and it's such a Vince thing to do.
So, like, do they even? Why have a tag match? Like, if they have a tag match, here's my problem with it. None of
Hmm.
the four guys deserves to take a pin
That
in a
yeah,
tag match,
exactly. Right. Who's gonna get pinned?
right?
Rollins, right? Cody
Rollins.
and
Rollins
Rollins
has to
have
get
to
pinned.
lose.
Okay, now you have Rollins losing, so you just have your world heavyweight champion getting pinned for what? For
It
for
makes
for
no
nothing.
sense.
If he's gonna get pinned, you better let Drew McIntyre pin him at WrestleMania this year for the title. That's it.
Right. It has
Because
to
Drew
be.
McIntyre is doing amazing heel work.
Drew's carrying.
He's straight carrying like the RIP Punk thing, like amazing. He's going up to every guy, and it's funny because he's just being truthful. He's not even lying,
He's not. Like, he's literally saying what the fans are saying. So,
right? And it's funny.
who do you think Rollins' opponent is at WrestleMania? It's gonna be Drew, right?
For me, Drew,
Hmm.
that's my pick. But being said that, we can get into the men's
Hmm.
chamber match because that's the men's chambers match. We got some qualifying matches the past couple of weeks. I did like the fact, by the way, it was both SmackDown and Raw superstars, even though it's a Raw championship,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because that's kind of how the championship started with, half members on SmackDown and Raw. So I think it's fair that there were both rosters fighting for the championship. Because some people are like, oh, why is AJ fighting for it? Why does Randy get to fight for it?
Hmm.
Well, because Cody chose Roman, so it's unfair for everyone else to not fight for a title. It's your top dogs.
Yeah, I don't think that's an issue. You know.
Yeah. So that's why I liked both rosters being a part of it.
Hmm.
So Drew McIntyre was obviously first one in it. Randy Orton qualified. Bobby Lashley, LA Knight, who else? Kevin Owens, and Logan Paul, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin Owens and Logan Paul. So we got six guys in there. The only people I can see winning is Drew, Randy, or LA Knight in order. But Drew's my pick.
Yeah, Drew's my pick too. He's got that's it's the largest, right? Technically, it's the largest WrestleMania of all time, and Drew technically would be finishing his story because he's going to be doing it in front of a live crowd.
and I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Like this dude deserves a run. And everyone wanted him as on a run as a babyface. But now that he's a heel, he's kind of like a tweener now.
Yeah.
He's turned his character into a tweener, and I'm here for it. He's great. He's the best part of Raw right now, I think.
Okay, so I think what happens with Damian Priest's Money in the Bank, I feel like it's so irrelevant. Well, no, you know what? Maybe it's manifesting, right? It's manifesting over time.
He's
So
gonna cash in.
I don't know if he cashes in WrestleMania. I think he cashes it in. I think does he have to like May or April or something?
He has until
Actually, no,
Ju-
June.
Money in the
Yeah,
Bank,
yeah,
June or July. Yeah, the next Money in the Bank pay per view,
yeah.
whenever that is. But yeah, he's gonna. You don't think he's gonna cash in at WrestleMania at all?
No, I just don't see Drew losing that title.
If Drew wins, what if LA Knight happens to win the Elimination Chamber, and then Damian Priest fucks him over by cashing it in? Because you can do that too,
Yeah.
and then have LA Knight jump over because he was the world heavyweight champion for a moment.
Hmm.
Have him jump over to Raw because Raw really needs a top babyface right now. He got nothing else for him on SmackDown right now.
So I think there's something with AJ and LA Knight still. So
Okay, so
that's because like LA Knight interrupted him, right? And that's why he cost AJ his match, right? So it was a little bit. I was okay with AJ Styles not interrupting LA's match, right? So I was like, okay, so it's gonna happen later because it's not gonna happen now because it would be too obvious. I'm sure LA Knight would have his guard up. So that's why I think like something's gonna happen. Elimination Chamber. Um, I don't know. Like he's gonna interrupt somehow. They always do.
AJ comes
Yeah,
out, messes up LA
yeah,
Knight, have him take the
yeah.
pin, and
It's
then
like
that sets up their WrestleMania
exactly, yeah.
match,
So I think
which is
yeah,
fine. I don't mind watching that.
like then you got Randy. He's gotta do something, and then what is that? Shameless
Shameless
snacks.
gummies.
What's in it? Peach
Yeah.
candy. Oh,
It's keto gummies.
oh, I've seen those.
3 grams of sugar.
Is it sweet?
It's pretty sweet. They use sugar, alcohol, I think. Anyway, but it's very good.
Shameless plugging.
You should try it.
Yeah.
I think you will like it if you have a sweet tooth.
I don't.
Yeah, me neither.
Liar. Who am I kidding? I was having Ferrero Rocher yesterday.
Oh, you were?
Yeah,
Yo, me too.
so good. With this Poland
I
Spring
don't have a
lime,
sweet tooth.
you gotta try this, man. It's so good.
That looks good.
La Croix. It's better than La Croix.
La Aquafina.
La Croix. La Croix.
La Croix. La Croix. Where were we? Oh, Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, Drew McIntyre.
Oh, LA Knight and
Well,
Styles.
you give me your opinion. So Drew McIntyre wins. It sets up LA Knight and it sets up AJ, maybe, right? Maybe. What happens with Randy? Who else is there?
I don't know, man. Randy and so Bobby Lashley's gonna face the New Testament. He's gonna face Karrion Kross at WrestleMania or something, and then he should win. If Karrion Kross wins, I'm gonna blow some shit up. It's like Fandango beating Chris Jericho. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, you got to put him over, right? That's how Fandango got cheered.
For a moment,
He wrestled with the broken freaking nose.
I mean, that's for Bobby Lashley. LA Knight, we got AJ, like you said, right? Possibly.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Owens, what does he do at WrestleMania? Does he face
Logan
Paul for the
title.
championship now?
Yeah.
He can do that in like a no DQ street fight type of thing, or something like that again. Yeah, I would be okay with that. But that would be the third time the charm type of thing. So he should win.
Yeah.
Whoever faces Logan Paul at WrestleMania should beat him.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Testament's gonna come out or something. Bobby Lashley's gonna lose. Definitely.
Oh, you think so?
Man, speaking of, I thought, Bobby Lashley and the I was gonna say prime time. My bad. With
Prime time.
With Tez and Angelo, I thought it was gonna be like a great team up, but I don't know. They just like buried each other themselves.
I'm not really interested in the Bobby Lashley versus New Testament anyway.
Yeah.
It doesn't intrigue me at all.
Yeah, like
it's kind of like a snoozer.
and the Street Profits too. They were bigger before. than what they are now.
No, Tez is big, man. Tez needs to go on a singles run with that Solo Cup.
Yeah, like I really like Dawkins too. I feel like they're both so good, but then like he was already being overshadowed by Tez, and now you have Bobby Lashley in the mix. Now he's just like a lackey who's like carrying their bags almost.
Exactly, and Bobby's like the main star always.
And Bobby's promos are so bad. Like he needs to really work on his promos. Oh, yeah, whatever. But he's obviously
Right.
he's great.
Well, look, after Elimination Chamber and after we talk about that in the next podcast, we can make our WrestleMania match predictions.
Yes.
And then closer to WrestleMania, we can have a better idea of predicting the WrestleMania
Yes.
matches and their outcomes.
Yeah.
But remember, these are just our opinions. We're just two fantasy bookers here. So
That's right, man.
But anyway, we got the Bobby Lashley, LA Knight, Kevin Owens, and I said LA Knight's possible that he gets into a program with Logan Paul too, if it's not AJ Styles, even though that's where that's leading. So that's one other option that they have here. Randy Orton, you know what? I have no idea where he's going to be at WrestleMania. He should be there. I don't know how, what, and when. Like how he gets into it.
Yeah, I don't even know who he would necessarily rival with. Is it an open challenge? You bring somebody in that's
Can he face Seth? Do you think that's a viable option? Because he was my second pick to win. If it's not Drew McIntyre,
I think so, and I think
yeah,
this would give Seth Rollins a good time to recover. If I think he's he's pretty wear and tear and all that stuff. So it will be
he has his knee injury still,
knee injury too, and it to me 100% Seth loses WrestleMania, 100% loses his title.
And I think he's okay with that. He's ready. He needs some time off, which is fine. But the person winning the championship has to carry Raw until Punk gets back and takes it for a few months.
Exactly. So
in the summer,
it would need to be someone who's sturdy, man. Like Drew would be sturdy.
Drew is better.
That's a good.
Drew's
that's a
the
good
one,
point.
man.
Like you would need somebody sturdy. So we can only think of people that are going to be sturdy. That's going to be looking to
right. And logically, who took out CM Punk?
Yeah. Exactly.
Drew McIntyre. Yeah. So when Punk comes back, it's an easy rivalry right there. There's no question, right? It's something that's just right there in front of you. Why not take it?
It's almost like you just sit down and you were talking about it. It's like it becomes so obvious in your face. Like, obviously this is going to happen. But that's the beauty of WWE. Like, hopefully that doesn't and some other craziness happens and like, who knows who gets involved.
Well, in between, Priest has to cash in before June or July, and that's before Punk gets back, so he'll be involved. What if he does steal it from Drew McIntyre and then Drew McIntyre was like, stolen from me again, brother.
Yeah, brother. He never says that, but okay.
It's funny.
Brother.
Who says that? Balor. I don't know. Sounds like someone.
Fella. Sheamus says that.
Fella. Oh,
we can't forget about him.
He's on his way back. I kind of wish he was in the chamber match too, though.
Yeah. You're going to put out a banger match. Yeah, I think that's a good point. I mean, hopefully Randy does something with maybe the IC title, Gunther.
Oh, speaking of the IC title, who do you think faces
Braun Breaker?
I have a prediction. Braun Breaker?
Yeah. Well, he's on SmackDown, right?
I think Sammy finishes another story there. He's trying to find a path back to WrestleMania because he just lost to Randy Orton for the qualifying match.
Shinsuke
versus Gunther?
No, Shinsuke versus Sammy.
Yeah, well, that happened already, and then Shinsuke won.
Yeah, that can't be the end, though.
So, right, that's not the end. But I don't think they're facing each other again at WrestleMania because they already had their NXT rivalry.
That's true.
On the first match.
That's true.
I don't know. Sammy winning the IC title in a underdog Daniel Bryan type way kind of feels nice to me too.
I'm hyped for that
because last year he remember that promo he did. He was like, "Hey, Elimination Chamber last year. It was the most hyped thing. I was in the main event of WrestleMania. I won the tag titles from the Usos." And now I can't even qualify for anything. So you know what? What if I face the most powerful champion right now? Besides Roman, is Gunther. And if I lose, maybe I'll quit because I can't do anything.
Oh, that's dramatic.
Something like that. And then if he wins at WrestleMania, it'll feel like a main event, no matter what.
It's crazy how they seamlessly just like had the biggest storyline of all time with. Kevin Owens, Sammy, and Bloodline. Now none of them are with each other. They're like all split up in different brands. I really enjoyed that.
Right.
This splitting up, how they did it like very seamlessly.
It felt very natural for the end of the blood, and it's still going. It's like the end of the bloodline. Like Jimmy's still making faces, at the Rock. There's little tidbits that you
I
can catch
enjoy
in there.
that. Yeah, it's like Easter eggs,
Yeah,
right?
right. And it's like
Yeah, yeah.
foreshadowing again. So
Man, I'm excited for Elimination Chamber, especially guys. But I hope it's not. I mean, maybe the winner's obvious, but I hope the match doesn't pan out. Obviously, like it's something.
right.
You got ups and downs.
I like that too. Because a lot of pay per views, when their card doesn't look amazing, something always good happens.
Yeah.
Like something always fun always happens. And this is their first big pay per view in Australia. So they're going all out on that 60,000 people. So it should be a fun match. Because sometimes, it's like, Roman's not wrestling, Seth is not wrestling. Well, what's the point of watching,
Yeah.
right? Your champion should be fighting. But they always pull something good at these big pay per view events, I think.
Do you think anyone that you are not expecting comes back?
Comes back?
No, right?
No, but I think at the Grayson Waller effect with Seth and Cody, obviously Rock and Roman is going to be there. So it may turn into an impromptu tag match. Maybe.
Ooh,
Maybe. But again, who
spicy.
takes the pin? Seth has to. Or it might end it like a DQ or something, Or they might talk and Rock is like, hey, Cody, if you want to man the fuck up, put your Royal Rumble spot. If we win today, it's going to be Bloodline at WrestleMania.
Ooh.
And make it interesting and make the fans mad again, somehow.
Now I can't rule that possibility out now with Damien cashing in on Roman and Cody. No, I'm just kidding. That would be
He can
nuts.
cash in on Seth at elimination after that tag match.
Oh my god. That man.
So many things could
Yeah.
happen.
If they want to go ballsy, like really
Yeah, go ahead and
ballsy.
do that. But is Priest versus McIntyre a bigger draw than, Drew and Seth? You know what I mean? At
No,
WrestleMania?
I'm thinking bigger. Damien cashes it on Roman Reigns and Cody. It's like
That's
that's
that'd be crazy.
ballsy.
No.
Or
I,
Damien pins the Rock somehow. I don't know, like if he wins the title or
no,
something.
no way. There's no way Rock would let anyone else except John Cena pin him.
I know, right?
or Roman next year. Um But yeah, that's Men Elimination Chamber match. It should be a
Yeah.
good one, regardless. The people in that match, Logan Paul's
High
gonna put on
flying.
a freaking banger. Yeah, high flying banger in there. So it'd be nice to watch. But speaking of Elimination Chamber matches, the other women's one,
Yes.
again, SmackDown Raw superstars fighting for the chance. We have 5 superstars that are confirmed. We have my favorite to win and face Rhea Ripley, or else they wouldn't be promoting this shit. Becky Lynch. That's for
Yeah.
first. We have Bianca Belair in there. We have Liv Morgan. Tiffany Stratton
Yes.
qualified, and Naomi qualified yesterday. I think those 5 women already, it's a lot of star power, and I think it's great that Tiffany Stratton was actually allowed to be in this Elimination Chamber match. She's going to be like the dark horse here. So I think Becky wins. I think Tiffany Stratton's my dark horse to win. And then there's one more
Wow.
to be announced.
Really? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I kind of want her to win because, she's good. She's better than Naomi and Liv Morgan, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Maybe not better than Bianca yet, but she'll get there.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I'm getting a little iffy on Bianca. Like, yeah, she's like charismatic or whatever, but just some moves are a little botchy. It's like some of the repeating moves, and
Well, she's not facing Rhea Ripley at
no,
WrestleMania. If she does, I'm gonna riot. So
now she won't.
I'm gonna riot to my 5 fans.
Yeah, same. My 2.5.
Your 2.5 fans.
Man, okay. So hold on. So I think who do you think is the last competitor? I have an opinion. I have somebody in mind. Yeah.
Jade.
Okay. Yeah. Same.
It has to be Jade. Who else?
She can't win though.
Who are you gonna put? Santina?
I would much rather have Santina. You know how much star power that is? You know how much privilege?
Dude, I wish Santina won the Royal Rumble.
You know how much privilege she would bring to the title?
That's so true.
You know who would bring bigger privilege?
Who?
R-Truth.
Oh, if he was an elimination, forget it, bro. I think they don't want to do that because it's too much of a pop.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Is to have R2.
But
anyway,
the women's. So so we have Jade, and then I think you're right, Bianca. I would say Bianca too. Like, sorry, Becky Lynch.
Bianca?
Becky Lynch would be the one to win.
Becky.
Yeah, for sure.
Becky has to be the one to win, but Now, just but getting into the
Hmm.
other woman, I mean, I guess we'll talk about this at the WrestleMania prediction podcast too. But what does Bianca do at WrestleMania now, as of this state, before anything happens? If Bianca doesn't win, what does she do at WrestleMania? Because WWE loves their
Yeah.
Bianca. She's gonna be on WrestleMania. Who does she face?
I want to say Jade, but I feel like it's too soon.
Too soon. Too soon. You know what I would have her do? Have her in a match with Tiffany Stratton because uh, both of them should be at WrestleMania and have Tiffany over. And then it's like, hey, now we're in it for real. Like, hey, this girl's for real. I just beat the EST of WWE,
Oh man,
Like Tiffy time is here.
that would be nuts.
And then Bianca won't get hurt. She doesn't get hurt by taking a pinfall at all. So I'd say to have Tiffany get over Bianca here
Yeah,
at
I think
WrestleMania.
I think what I like about the women's wrestling more, and that's why I feel like a lot of the matches that we have, we're like, oh, we like the women's one better. We like because there are no like bosses. Because there's no way this guy's
Right.
gonna take a pinfall. Obviously, this is gonna be the outcome, and that's why it's not as exciting. Yeah, guys maybe are better or whatever, but it's not as exciting in terms of storyline. And I think I like the women's better because anybody can lose. No one's immune to a
It's
loss. Yeah, it's
unpredictable.
unpredictable. And I
Yeah.
think that was a problem. Like making everyone be like a maxed out 2K character is the problem with WWE now, trying to always break records and do this and that. You can't do that like in one era, kind of. And I feel like Gunther and like Roman, owned this era. And then
Hmm.
maybe in the next era you have somebody else. But now in the interim, you got to have like a little bit of unpredictability. But I think okay, so predictions was Becky Lynch. I agree. Now, yeah, I don't. Yeah,
Okay, wait. Does Becky beat Rhea if she wins?
no, I think Rhea
Okay,
wins
good.
100%.
I think Rhea should win 100%. Yeah, like this is Rhea's time to really solidify herself as the true boss, like and become a Roman, because she hasn't had good competitors and Becky is her real competitor
Yeah,
here. They kept her away for so long like we talked about. So if Becky makes it to WrestleMania, I would like to see Rhea retain and become the big boss
yeah. I
finally,
think the only person
the
that would
feared
really
one.
take her down is Jade. Like,
In a
yeah,
long
a
time
long
from
time
now,
from
and
now.
not even
No,
just
no,
now.
that'd be
Yeah,
too much to have
right.
her win now. No, she needs to work like 2, 3 years. Like, yeah, yeah,
Exactly, exactly. And maybe build Rhea somewhere in there. Maybe you can have her lose to someone, but win it back.
yeah,
In a way, in this next storyline. But if she beats Becky, that really like, hey, you're
yeah,
it.
for sure.
you know. So that last name, Jade Cargill, that we think is going to be the sixth member of the Women's Elimination
Hmm.
Chamber match. What does she do at this year's WrestleMania, or is she left off?
Yeah, I think she would be left off. I think it's too soon to bring her in now. I agree with
What do you think about
Mhm.
throwing her in with Nia Jax in a first time match because they had a thing at the Royal
I think
Rumble?
again it's too soon because who would be leading that match, right? Because you need somebody who's like a general in the match to be like sometimes call audibles and stuff like that. I don't think Nia's like
Right.
there yet to be doing that, like leading Jade into this dance.
But The Rock is the board of directors. His Samoans will be on the show.
Yeah, maybe. I just don't see Nia at WrestleMania one on oneing against somebody less experienced than her. I would it would
Uh
have to
huh.
be someone like a Becky Lynch or
To
yeah.
lead. I get what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying. I just feel like I just have the like an
Mhm.
inkling that they're gonna make Jade look really strong, and make Nia like destroy her a little bit, but have Jade ultimately win and kind of like, hey, this is your first WrestleMania match. You defeated this big monster, and they're gonna set her up for a monster year, like as a newbie.
Okay, yeah, maybe, yeah,
That's just my
yeah. I
inkling.
don't see her in a WrestleMania moment, and and it's no disrespect. It's just like this has got to be the biggest WrestleMania ever, right? So like it has to be almost
Hmm.
perfect. And so
What other women's matches would what do you think there could
tag
be?
matches, right? You got the tag matches.
Yeah, tag matching,
Um,
which is like useless,
yeah,
by the way. No, I'm not even interested in Asuka and Kyrie right now, or the damage control
yeah.
portion of it. But we know Bailey's gonna beat Io, hopefully that's a
Yeah,
WrestleMania moment.
exactly. The Bailey match would be great.
Yeah,
You still have
yeah. But there's nothing
right.
else besides Rhea and
Right. I
Becky.
mean, and now you have. Oh yeah, right. So that's the EO match, um, Kabuki Warrior match. Then you got that, and then you have just the other women's match. Then I don't really know. We just have to see how it goes. But
Right.
maybe you're right. Maybe you get a Jade match in, but then again, I just feel like I don't know. I get nervous for them. It's just you need a little bit more. But maybe they're going to be working for the next 2 months.
Maybe she squashes Naya, and they don't even have to lead. They just do a quick pyro slam and a 1, 2,
That would be
3.
crazy. Just a kick to the like a Sheamus kick to the chest.
Yeah, like a Sheamus, like a
Yeah.
bro king type thing. A big power slam, and then everyone gets shook because like, whoa, she just came in and destroyed Naya. Can she destroy anyone else in
Yeah.
WWE? Maybe after this. Maybe, I don't know. Just a little inkling of little things that can happen.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And then that gets into Rhea versus
Yes.
Nia Jax. No way in hell Nia wins. Sorry. Goodbye.
But what if?
No.
What if Nia
No.
just
Then Nia's gonna face Becky at
yeah? What if
WrestleMania?
Nia
No.
just squashes Rhea? Like
No
a
way.
5 minute
No
match where she
way.
just throws her in like a Great Khali Undertaker, just like a
Yo,
squash.
I will run around the block with clothes on.
Because it's a possibility. Okay, so
No way.
you run around
No
with your clothes
way.
off around your neighborhood for 30 seconds.
For 30
That's
seconds?
too much. That's too much. That's too
I'm
much.
gonna get arrested.
5 seconds. You got to go
I'm gonna get
out and
arrested.
in.
I'm gonna arrested. There's kids on my neighborhood.
You got to take the risk, right?
Okay, you run for a minute in general.
Okay, deal.
Okay. Rhea wins. Enough
Rhea
said.
versus Becky, and then Rhea wins again.
Rhea versus Becky. And then Rhea wins again. That's right. And then we talked about, Grayson Waller, Elimination Chamber matches, WWE Women's World Championship. Now, the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. A little tidbit on the side. Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, British Strong Style, whatever their new name was that Tyler Bate said yesterday. I totally forgot what it was. I think they have a good chance at winning because, they're like the UK people, right? And Australians love that type of match style. And Finn Balor, does that match style great. He was there for a long time. But Judgment Day retains.
Oh, absolutely. It would have to be like an internal explosion of some kind for them to start losing their titles,
Can this be when R-Truth finally fucks them up?
Could be. I really do see them losing at WrestleMania though. Oh shoot. Gotta fix that. Oops. Keeping that in there.
Damn.
Hold on. My bad. I got too excited.
Damn, you got so mad. You bro kicked your camera.
I did the Jade Cargill kick. So I got a little excited there. Woo.
That was a real storm.
So yeah, what was I saying? I forgot.
Judgment Day.
Yes.
Winning.
I think
losing
it makes for a bigger storyline. But what comes of this? What really comes of right? Because right now, right, this tag team champions, they're just workhorses, right? At the end of the day, they're all workhorses. They don't necessarily have a legitimate storyline that I can really think of. Like, who are they beefing with? R-Truth.
Right. So the tag team division is at a standstill because the tag team titles are held by the Judgment Day because they have a solid storyline over on Raw, right? So, there needs to be some kind of implosion, I think, with R-Truth and something at WrestleMania. I agree. It has to happen at WrestleMania. Maybe have it done as the first match so Damian Priest could go off and he comes out the end of the night to win the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
Something like that. At least, and then after WrestleMania, you can finally merge the tag team titles, make it one, and then have all the tag teams finally fighting for you. I mean, you got DIY, you got British Strong Style, you got I'm blanking, Pretty Deadly, you got whole bunch. You got the Legato, Del Fantasmo, LWO.
There are a lot of
tag
tag
teams
teams.
from
I
NXT.
think the problem with the tag team division is though there's like I get the reason why they get paired up because like they need to help each other out, like with promos and wrestling and all that. I think it just they just need like more screen time in terms of promos. Or when I say screen time, I just mean with the time they do have to do something with that time, a little bit more
Yeah,
productive.
right now they're just wrestling
Yes.
with no story. And that's the problem. They're just qualifying to face the Judgment Day, but there's no story or emotion kind of put into
Mhm.
that story. Like, why does Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate have to hate Finn Balor? Like, when it becomes
Mhm.
personal, that's when they want to win. Like Sammy and Kevin versus the Usos. That's what's
Mhm.
personal, you know? But now you're just having tag teams fight each other, and if they win, lose, you don't feel anything come out of
Yeah,
it.
exactly. And I think there's so much power, so much energy, so much emotion invested into the Bloodline storyline that literally everyone's an afterthought at this point, right? And
Ex-
and I think that's
exactly.
the problem. Like, yeah, you have one good story, but what if you just had like a bunch of good. I mean, you have one great story, but what if you had a bunch of small good stories? It would. Is it the same thing or is it a little bit better? We don't know that, but I think that's the thing that's missing with the tag team division. Is like, yes, Judgment Day. See, they can speak on the mic, they get screen time. Honestly, they got a lot of screen time, right? Um, they just need like a tag team like that, like DIY. Um, and you have Gargano. They have they're getting a lot of screen time too. But I feel like they're just so invested into each other when like they look at each other and they're invested into each other. I don't know. I just feel like they need to be a little bit more invested with the fans too, and like do some nice promos of some kind.
Right. They're not connected
Yeah.
with the crowd yet. And I think Triple H wants to make them connected to the crowd because these are his black and gold
Yes. Yeah.
guys, you know? So I want I'm a huge fan of Johnny
Yeah.
Wrestling
Yeah.
and Champa, right? No problem with them. But it's just that they need to connect with the fans
Hmm.
a little bit more after the Judgment Day storyline is finished. So when they have the tag titles, and I say when,
Yes.
not if, when DIY has the tag titles again, I think they can make it into a big thing by creating a more personal storyline with other tag teams.
Yeah. And then it would be nice to see a rivalry between them two and see, yeah, and
Again,
like
right? Like,
like breakout and then try to get them
yep.
really riled up. Man, we can't forget about Chad Gable though. I want him back.
Look, I'm still okay with him facing Gunther. By the way, like if it's not Sammy,
Yes,
I'm still okay with Chad Gable doing it. But right now they're kind of like just keeping him on the side. And Maxine should not wrestle,
she's
bro. Just I'm
so bad.
sorry, like
She's
they
too
can't
girly
like
girly. Like,
don't like keep her as a
yeah,
valet, you know? Like I don't know why they're pushing her so much. And I'm sure she's practiced a lot and she's fine. She's probably an
yeah.
awesome person. Right? I don't know, but it's just don't make someone wrestle when they don't look good wrestling now
But
on
is
TV.
it their fault or hers, right? Because they're giving her ample opportunity to be with the Alpha Academy. Like, use this opportunity. It's more. I feel like it's more on her that she's not a star than anyone else.
Well, she
Yeah, she
didn't
didn't
improve.
improve.
So and
Yeah,
that's why she's not a star. So I think it was right on WWE to give her a chance a couple of times to wrestle. But if you didn't take that opportunity to make it look good, then WWE should know to back off
right.
also.
Exactly.
Like you don't have to push. Once it's same thing with Roman down our throats for 5-10 years. But now, whatever babyface that Vince wanted Roman to be, Roman will get that babyface turn very soon versus The Rock. He's gonna be the biggest babyface
If
next
that's the
year, next
case,
to
then he
Cody.
better learn
So
how to drop promos because I don't understand why people are still saying, oh, like all YouTube videos popping up 30 minutes of Roman dropping
mhm.
promos, roasting people. You're not good. Just because you say you smash them and stack them and pin, like, doesn't mean you're good. Yeah. Oh my God. I get so riled up.
Well, he's gonna remain the same character now. Like it's kind of like a Drew McIntyre thing, right? Like he was always the same guy. So Roman's gonna be who he is, except he's just gonna be like the little brother to The Rock, and everyone's gonna start feeling worse for Roman. Not that they really like Roman, but because The Rock is such a dick next year.
Yeah, yeah. So not Damien. Drew McIntyre. His promos are so good. He won me over, right?
Oh, of course, yeah, he's fine. That's why I
One
want him
of
to win.
Drew McIntyre's literal promo is longer than the entirety career of Roman's promos. I cannot stand him. He is so bad.
Well, then you better hope Cody
Yes.
beats him this year at
Think about
WrestleMania.
it, man. He got 19 people behind him. Paul Heyman's talking. The Rock. He needs everyone. everyone to keep him standing because his foundation's crumbling.
So I can say for sure that you acknowledge
I
him.
acknowledge that he's trash. Yeah. Oh God, he's so bad. Get him off the fucking monitor, man.
Well-
Get him off.
Don't worry, he's gonna beat The Rock next year, and you can see it all happen.
Yeah, he can't sell merchandise either. I don't care what the fuck the chart says. It's all these bots buying shirts.
So all Roman fans are
Literally
bots.
and quite literal bots. He probably hired
You heard it
100,000
here.
computers in a factory somewhere buying his shirts, and it's just him money reinvesting into himself. Conspiracy
From a hater from Queens, New York.
man, you just told him where we are. Not that anyone even knows or cares, but
Oh shit!
taking it off, man.
Taking it off. It's okay.
Why did
we
you give your
definitely-
address and social security while you're at it?
Oh, I do. Does anyone want to write this
69, 69.
Vince? 619, 619, 619.
Wow. Speaking of 619, yo, Dominic is killing it. His match against Kevin Owens.
Oh, I thought you were gonna bring Ray back. But we were
No.
talking about Dominic. This is how you know the
Yeah.
power has shifted when you start saying
He's
619
a
and Dominic
workhorse.
instead. He's gonna work
my
your
God.
horse.
Oh my God.
But you know, I'm happy to wake up at 5 a.m. next week. I know you'll be watching it later on in the day.
Oh yeah,
next
hell no! I'm not waking up.
But-
If I'm gonna be watching that, I'm not gonna sleep. I won't.
Okay,
I
so
just
don't
told
sleep
you.
then. We'll hit up our friend over in the UK because it will be normal time for her,
Oh yeah.
and then we will make sure that we get in a podcast right after.
Before we hop off, we still have our one match. No, we got. Well, it's not planned yet. Not that Gunther
That's it,
and
man.
Jay Uso.
Not
Come
confirmed.
on.
Well, did Gunther's lawyers fix his visa issues yet? We don't know. That's why I think that's the holdup.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, he can't. Yeah, he has work visa issues with any other country. So that's the reason he hasn't been confirmed
Is an
for
Intercontinental
Elimination Chamber.
Championship
Well,
enough visa? You're literally the Intercontinental Champion. You should be able to go anywhere.
it's a green card.
Yeah, just show it
It's
to
a
them.
green
Like
title
throw it at their
card.
face. That's the green card.
You should tell that to global
Dude, how
entry.
ironic is that? Intercontinental Champion can't go anywhere.
It's funny though, but Gunther wins.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
If they do face. So Gunther wins, and then he may or may not lose at WrestleMania in a poetic moment to Sami Zayn in my
Yeah, Sami
fantasy
Zayn would
world.
be a good person to take it. I still root for Chad Gable. Yeah.
And Chad Gable. Yeah, I'm okay with either. It's still a poetic story.
Yeah, I
Either way.
when we get to the next podcast, when we talk about WrestleMania moments, I want to talk about Sami Zayn and what his next storyline, because he's literally so much gold with Sami Zayn. There's so much emotion and gold with him, right? Like
He's the ultimate underdog, right? Next to Daniel Bryan in the modern day. So everyone always wants to root for Sammy. And then you know what's the best part? If this guy decides to turn heel, it would be awesome. Because he can also make people hate him so easily. He's just so good at evoking emotion.
Good point. Very good at evoking emotion. Yeah.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah,
that felt real.
I evoked your emotion. I saw it. Your nipples
You
got
evoked
hard.
that emotion?
I could see it through your CM Punk shirt.
It did. I know. I'm going to wear this
do it.
every time now that you said it. Oh, man. All right. But that was our Elimination Chamber predictions going into the Chamber next week. We will be watching it sometime next Saturday, and then we will be doing a review right after. But again, please follow us at TB Wrestling Casuals. Give us a subscribe and follow on YouTube, and keep at it.
Keep at it. Wow, he worked on that all week. And
I did. I worked on that. I wrote that down.
That's better than what
Keep
I have,
at
which
it.
is nothing.
That's it.
So it's great.
What's better than what Roman has?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, leave
All
off
right,
with
man,
one
so
thing,
let's,
right? Remember one more thing with Rock when he pointed up to the sky. He did this, by the way, not this. So I don't know if that means anything.
Did he? He put this?
Yeah. Go look back at it.
Really? At all the inbreds that At all the
Yeah,
inbreds he was looking at.
all the inbreds, including him.
I'll look it
Do
back.
it.
But so are we. We're the losers. I'm a Cody crybaby, so
Me
just
too.
just FYI.
But I like The Rock too, so I don't give a shit. But it's just good. Good for business.
It's good for business now. Look, going into WrestleMania, we're back. WWE's back. They're cooking again. I'm okay with it. It's not fully burnt, so that's where we're at.
I'm
So
excited
that's
for
good.
next week.
until next week
Okay.
and
Good.
time
Bye.
later.
Oh
I worked on
wow,
that too.
you're killing it. You should be a writer. Peace.
Peace.